Now, let's see what happens if the white plays exchange variation here. So white can play d4 and trade this pawn, right? So look, after c6, white can take the pawn. This clearly leads into quiet position, right? It's not going to be so tactical like in the chapter 2, right? But do not underestimate this because it can be quite a good opening for a white, right? So if you are playing with a white side, I think you should consider this as an option. Now, knight c3, bishop f4, let's see all the development here, and e3. Now, of course, white also can play knight f3, right? a6. I want you to stop here and see what's the reason why black plays a6. It is clear that he wants to stop the bishop to b5, right? So black doesn't like this move bishop b5. Now, the idea of bishop b5 would be, of course, to play knight f3 and knight e5 and make a pressure on this knight and c6. So by playing a6, you don't allow that, right? Now white plays bishop d3. Now look, we cannot develop the bishop to f5 after this move, right? You don't want to put the bishop on d7. It doesn't look good. You also don't want to play e6 because the bishop would stay in a bad position. So the move bishop g4 makes sense. You are taking the queen, and after this move, right, you are moving your bishop to h5, right? So that's a kind of a good way to develop the bishop, because otherwise this bishop could stay on c8 and you can have problems with that bishop. And here e6, bishop e7. Look, it's quite solid position for both sides. The game is even, and you can play this with the white side, you can play with the black side. Let's go back one more time, see all the moves, and you see this move c takes d5. Now look, if you are playing this with the black, of course you have to know a little bit about this, right? Or if you are playing with the white side, then why not to consider sometimes c takes d5. Now look, this move c takes d5 can happen in a different positions. Look, you could play something like this, right? Knight f6, and let's say now c takes d5, knight f3, knight c6, so bishop to f4, bishop to f5, and e3. Let's say e3, e6, and now bishop b5. That's something that can happen, right? It is important to know here that you cannot really copy, because if you play bishop to b4, then the knight will jump to e5, and white has this extra move, right? Because white starts first, so you cannot really copy. White has a little bit of the advantage here, um, and um, and it's important not to copy. There are moves here that you can play, like you could play move like 97. Of course, this is a move that you really have to learn. Now, the idea is to block this diagonal, but at the same time you don't want knight to go to e5, because now you are controlling that with the d7. Okay, it's possible to play like this if you are black, right? Or that other idea, just to play a6 and not to allow the white to go to b5. I think this may be a little bit better for you to remember, because you really don't want to go into those positions and be pinned. Right, a6 stops this attack, and now you can play for here if you get into this position, right? Okay, look, that's introduction um, to this opening to Slav defense. Now we can see the games, right? I'm going to show you the games, and then after that, I will ask you to guess the moves, right? So, guessing the moves, you will have to do it on your own at home because I would spend too much time doing that. But I'm going to show you the game, and then you can see you can go to the same game. Actually, this is the same game, like this Yanovsky against Marshall is the same game here. You just have to guess the moves on your own. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.